Woo! What's going on, YouTubian peoples? My beautiful, wonderful, intelligent, smart, balanced, good mental health, positive energy people, natives, nationals of the United States of America, and whatnot and wherefore. It is I, the Badwolf, here to talk about oversight, administrative oversight, and accountability, United States courts. Did you know that all of these courts have what's known as a judge or judicial oversight committee? Committee. What does that mean? That means that if your court case, you feel there was something wrong, the judge was mentally incompetent, didn't seem right, he was off, his mental faculties and capacities diminished, he was biased, called you out of your name, a sovereign citizen, he seemed partial, maybe you got a kickback, anything like that transpired, not only can you report him to the bar, but you can find the Judicial Oversight Committee. Now here's the United States Senate Committee on Judicial Oversight. Okay. But over here, let's see. What is the role of the Judicial Committee in providing oversight? In addition to its critical role of providing oversight for the Department of Justice and agencies under the Department of Justice or jurisdiction, including the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, they play an important role in consideration of nominations of pending legislation. Okay. Everything. Look, judicial proceedings, civil and criminal, state, territorial bounds, lines, unlawful restraints, monopolies, federal courts and judges, civil liberties. You can reach out to these people and say, I need this to be looked at. Now, a lot of my people already have known that you could take your matter to the federal court for most things in general. But if you think that you got a bad rap, and before you take it to the federal court, if you want to, a judicial oversight committee can take a look. Okay. So let's say you're in the state of, I don't know, Arizona. Okay. So let's type this in. Arizona Commission on Judicial Conduct. They act on complaints alleging judicial misconduct. The Judicial Ethics Advisory Committee fields ethics questions from judges, judicial candidates, and judicial employees about their own prospective conduct. It teaches you right here how to file a complaint, public decisions, members, frequently asked questions. This is in every state. So let's jump to let's go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Wisconsin Judicial Commission investigates and prosecutes allegations of misconduct or disability on the part of Wisconsin judges and court commissioners. Report that AZZ. Let's go to New York. New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct. They got it. So if you're a judge, okay, you think he didn't do something right, have him reviewed. Have him reviewed. Right here. How do I file a complaint against a judge in New York? You must sign and write a complaint. Draft a complaint. You can also do it online. Print the form and mail it, or send us a letter describing the alleged misconduct. They will investigate these people. Now, do not, do not, do not, do not play around with these people, any of them, unless you have a legitimate complaint that you can articulate in your letter. You can prove, hey, look, this seems sketchy to me. Here's proof. Here's this, whatever you can. Do not just play games. Oh, I'm going to get back at this person or that person or whatever else. Because if you do, you'll be on their radar and they will go after you for fictitious complaints, this, that, and the other. It has to be legitimate. You have to be able to articulate it. If you can write it down, if you can write it down and you read it back to yourself or whatever else, and you looking at it as from a third party or person perspective, and it makes sense, and you can see that there's something quite not right there, they will take it seriously. But if you cannot, I'm not saying not to write a complaint, even if you can't articulate. I'm just saying that you need to be able to articulate it, because if you have a complaint, there should be something there that you can state as to why. Hold on one second. I got an email. Sorry, guys. One more second. All right. Do not play games with these people. Do not waste their time. I know there always will be somebody out there. Oh, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's on you. That's why the system is in place to deal with those people, those persons, and they will complicate your life. So use the knowledge wisely and do not be a belligerent or combatant. These are tools you guys can use for those people who need them, but not people who just want to mess up things. But if you do play games, and they're going to play games back with you, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And it's those people out there that are the problem. Those people are the ones that the system itself has a problem with, because a lot of those people are not mentally well. There's a lot of mental health issues or illness out there. And you could have the most beautiful of woman or the most articulate of man, and they can still have a lot of mental health issues. So do not, obviously, those people aren't going to hear me anyway. But if there's anybody who wasn't sure, uh, lean back, stay in your lane. Don't do anything with any of this information or any information anybody gives you out there in any kind of negative, um, malicious, fictitious way whatsoever, because it'll cost you more in the end. Sometimes you need to know when to take your ball and go home, and sometimes you just need to learn how to fight better. Sometimes you might do both. All right. So once again, this information as a non-belligerent, non-combatant is just for entertainment purposes and for those people who want to increase their knowledge base, but make sure that you guys are operating commerce properly. That's the big thing. And even if some lawyer, some cop, or some judge, or your buddy on the street, or whoever doesn't know some of this information, ask them, well, when did you study this? Well, I just know. You just know. So that's a feeling. So your feeling makes law now. Can you articulate the law that supports what you're saying? Because I can. I can show you the whole gamut. So that's why I don't even listen to people, because you're already showing me those people, individuals, those particular persons. You're showing me your intelligence level, because feeling some type of way, your feelings aren't protected by law and in the Constitution. I've never read anywhere where your feelings are protected. So your feelings, your emotions are essentially irrelevant in law. Now, you can attach your emotions to proving the damage that was done. If you can articulate the damage, fine. And your feelings can come into play if from that damage it caused you not to be able to do work, because then you experience a loss. Then it matters in that way. But in general, oh, I feel some type of way. I think you're against the government. You're against the and you where did I ever say that? Where does it say that? I can show the law that tells you who has to pay taxes. I know how to interpret the IRS code. I know the difference between the United States, with the United States, and the definition of without the United States. Do you? Yeah. 99% of the people out there cannot. And that includes most of the people who work in the various levels of state government and law enforcement. They don't. I've been doing this for 40 years. Most of them studied law, not even studied law. They studied traffic. Most police officers study traffic safety and administration for less than 9 months complete. No offense, unless it applies to you in a negative way, then yeah, full offense. Um, and to be a lawyer, it takes 7 years in one area or one aspect of law to be averagely to above potentially mastered in that. I've studied all of this for 40 years. Well, we'll say officially 30, and then still yet more than most. I'm not a master at this. I'm just really good at the areas that I have studied. That's why a judge, before somebody even asks me or tries to, has a judge ever asked you to join them in open counsel in the court case that they were trying to go and prosecute you for? Because I beat the prosecutor and the judge was impressed because I beat him too. Self-taught. If you don't have that as your opening statement to go against me, then I can't even hear you, because I've impressed. When you can impress your opponent, then you're doing something. Till then, you just feel some type of way, unless you've got the court cases and the lawsuits behind you like I do to prove that you know what you're doing. And you don't have to go to college, but you should, to learn. Matter of fact, all the first people that brought forth all of these official and public things started off in the private. All of them started off as private people getting together and making it then official, which means everything comes from the private and the natural.